Do-do-ding-ding-ding. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dysfunctional Fitness Podcast. You're joined today by myself, Matthew Hosking, and obviously my co-host, Ben Bodycom. We're back. Quick little hiatus, but we're back for bang. We're doing a European Leaderboard review, and then we're going to do a little recap of a competition that happened over the past weekend, Battle for Middle Ground, March-ish Mayhem. And then we're going to just look at maybe some little competitions that are coming on the horizon in the UK scene, namely Ragnarok, whose Qualify 1 just came out today. So yeah, that's the order of proceedings today. So yeah, we'll pretty much get straight into it. But we'll look at the ladies first. So leaderboards are officially like final. They're closed, so there's no shimmering around anymore. So all the penalties have been dished out. And yeah, there's been a few changes. We did originally record one, but then there were so many changes that we thought, I have to save that one and record a new one. Otherwise, it'd be quite outdated. So yeah, here we are. Well, looking at ladies, not too many surprises, but in number one place, we had Laura Horvath. Ben, any thoughts on her performance?
2 seconds and 2 firsts out of the 5 scores is ridiculously impressive in Europe. I know everyone's hyping up the Mal train, but, you know, and I know that Laura and handstand push-ups is the drum that has been beaten to death by CrossFit analysts the world over. But she performed quite well in this, coming 24th with a penalty. The penalty being from incorrectly measuring distance. We don't have any more information than that. CrossFit did release a list of a crazy number of penalties that they've been dishing out. Matt touched on it, where the leaderboard has been fluctuating all over the place for the past week or so. It's been interesting to watch, but we've seen so many score adjustments for a variety of different reasons that it's interesting to see one that is for standards, you know, of not measuring a line, which is a fairly objective measurement that should be quite easy. That's not good.
It's very odd.
Good.
That happened to a few people. Yeah, I swear.
Yeah.
I think also had an issue with that. Go on.
Come on, brute. Have a word with yourselves. Like having worked,
it's odd, but then essentially, I'd say it's also odd that how can you have one person have that mistake and not the rest of the what? And he redid it. It's not like he just did it once and got a penalty for a line. He found out and then redid it the same day. And I think he only got 10, 20 seconds worse. But how do you miss such a simple thing? Saying that, I have seen when that workout was people were putting up their little Instagram highlights. Some people's lines were nowhere near 10 inches. I'm not going to name names, but yeah, no shame. I don't even know why you put it out there. Why are you putting it out on the internet when you've literally completely just missed a line? But yeah, it is what it is.
I think it's...
You would think from those high-level people, what are you doing?
Yeah, having spent a lot of time laying out floor plans over the past 5 or 6 years at BFG, you have to get it right, and it's an objective measure. You take your tape measure, you measure everything, you show everything. It's as one of the non-negotiables within the sport now, and it should be fairly easy to do. But anyway, so if she hadn't had that penalty in workout 1, she'd have been even further clear at the top. And yeah, it's a really impressive performance, and I think, in all honesty, Gabby Migawa probably benefited from being with Laura because they did the workouts together. Laura, Gabby, and Laura's brother Christoph did the workouts together. We'll come on to him a little bit later because he got hit with that exact same penalty for workout 1, and that was enough to take him completely out of semi-finals reckoning. If we'd elected to release the episode that we recorded last time, that was something we noticed literally as we were watching the leaderboard. Yeah, it's
It was a live catch by Benjamin. I got very excited. We have to release just that clip of when you realised. I think I compared it to a safari. seeing one of the big five on a safari out of nowhere. Oh dear, I've never seen him so animated.
Matt making those big middle class references that we all enjoy.
Yeah. I definitely think, Laura, obviously without a penalty, she's just shown she's easily, obviously the strongest in Europe. And I think overall, worldwide, she beat Mal, didn't, not overall she beat her, but I think she beat her in 4 for 5 workouts, I believe. I think so. Again, it shows, I'm on the train that Mal's going to win the games easy, but from that, there's literally no guarantee that Mal's going to have an easy ride, which is exciting. Be hopefully a good, exciting competition on the women's side. And and if our hands up pushers don't come up in terms of the deficit or whatever, there's no reason Laura can't win the whole thing. So very exciting.
Indeed.
Right, should we keep moving down the leaderboard? Well, in third place we had Emma Toole. Another strong performance.
Yeah, competing out of high performance CrossFit in Wigan. Interesting. I don't think she did the open there. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just admin that hasn't caught up. It's what it is. But a really strong performance from Emma.
Admin that hasn't caught up. That'll be the new go-to excuse.
I just forgot to do my admin. Sorry, guys. Yeah. It's how you get to people like Bailey Rail. I definitely didn't do these workouts at CrossFit Mayhem. I'm doing these unaffiliated. And I've just happened to end up in the easier region. North America East, North America West. Issues are interesting, to say the least. But we focus on Europe and we just talk about Europe because we love Europe, because it's massively underrepresented. Talking of underrepresented, Emma Toole, I think has always been the sort of perennial person who can put together really good performances in the off season. I think she had a really good Wodapalooza a couple of years ago, and has showcased that she has the capacity to do really, really well at the games. But I don't think has ever really been able to demonstrate it. So hopefully she's healthy, happy, and able to push for one of those coveted 11 spots that we're going to get in Berlin. And someone similar to that, I would say, is the person just below her, Manon Anganese. She wasn't able to submit her quarterfinal scores last year due to an issue with understanding that the times had changed versus the open. So she thought she had an additional hour when actually she didn't. So it wasn't able, it was her and a guy called Jalla Hoster who weren't able to get their scores in time last year. They both were able to get their scores in this time, and are both now training under No Shortcuts with Andre Houdet leading that. So really interested to see how they're able to get on and if they're able to get their first games ticket, because Manon had a fairly decent go of things at Dubai this off season as well.
Yeah, and the finishes were very consistent with a 13th, 18th, 2nd, 18th, and 11th. So that's very consistent. Nothing outside a 18th. So that's very, very solid.
And she was sixth in Dubai.
Just below her in. Oh, you go.
No, she was sixth. Manon was sixth in Dubai as well. So amongst a pretty competitive field is good.
Oh, cool. In fifth, we had Thuri Helgadottir. Again, very consistent finishes. A bit higher in the middle, the third and the fourth workout. So clearly her strength, compared to the girls above her, is like, quote unquote, her weakness, but still not a bad result. And then, same with the row GHD won that one. But that one, again, finishing for them probably on the row, I assume. So that's a bit of a lottery for those top people when they get to that stage. So there's not nothing to stress about, I would say. But yeah, a very good finish. And what was the fact that you brought out a few weeks ago? Something like she's like a 6 or 5 times games athlete or something. even though
Yeah,
no one ever talks about her. I'm pretty sure.
Let me.
It was some
games
like crazy amount.
6 times. 7 times. 7 times she's been to the game.
Yeah.
Her highest placing was
7,
9th in 2019.
And I think when you asked that first, I was like, yeah, that's crazy.
Madness. And she's one of the lightest.
Like, we had Annie.
Oh, gone. I think we're lagging a lot today, aren't we?
I think it's lag, but yeah.
She's only 59 kilos, which is about 10 kilos lighter. If her games profile is accurate, who knows if it is or not, but looks about 10 kilos lighter than everyone else. So, for her to perform that well on workouts with external load as well is really, really impressive.
I agree. Right, who else, anyone stands out further down the line?
I mean, Annie coming in 6th, it is pretty good. So that's really, really good for her. Then seeing Sarah Sigmund's daughter in
9th.
Sorry, I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
I was getting a call that was calling on my headphones. That was really, really distracting. All
right.
Yes. Sorry, you're saying about Sarah.
For work, this is it. Yeah, just actually got 9th. I think you paused as you said what she was going to come, and I was like, I was finishing a sentence for you. Yeah, 9th place. Again, very solid. Just one really bad workout, to be honest, on the crossovers. So if she has crossovers, she could have finished top 3. Just based off her finishes there, with a 7th, 11th, 4th, and 2nd in the other ones. So she'll probably fix that by the time you hope semis comes around. Yeah, it might be a bit too late when it's probably doubles at semis, but I'm sure she is practicing. Any other names that pop out? We've got obviously Amy Kringle from the UK in 17th, so another semi-final trip for her. To be fair, actually very good performances across the board. The only one that would knocked her down was just workout 1 with an 86th, but everything else was very solid. A 13th, a 30th, a 7th, and a 21st. So she, again, I don't know what the limiter is. My guess would be the wall-facing handstand push-ups, just because that's what the main limiter was for most people in that workout. So that would be my educated guess. So I assume that, well, you never know if you don't see that again. There's no reason she can't be pushing for a game spot come June. So, yeah, pretty exciting times for her. Any other names that stick out to you, Ben?
I mean, I was kind of surprised that Jacqueline Dahlstrom soloed down. I say solo down. 19th, you kind of expect her. She won a semi-final last year. She tends to place fairly well at the games. She's 26th in. Oh, that was this season. Actually, I tell a lie. When did she finish in quarter? Yeah, she's been 4th in quarterfinals for the past 2 years. So we know that she tends to perform quite well. And then she's come in 2nd in 2021 in semis, and then 1st in 2022. That 2021 semi-final, I think, was online. So we know that she can perform really well in online competitions. So whether it's just her working towards improvement, and she is improving year on year. 2019, she was 45th at the games. 2021, she was 17th. In 2022, she was 15th. So whether she's just trying to adjust how she does things and try and peak a little bit later in the season, I think that's probably what they're leaning more towards at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that and the crossovers as well. I think stitch drop as well, because, again, workout 2 for her was her worst by a mile. She went 11th, 105th, 54th, 19th, 3rd. So, again, workout 2, the crossovers seem to be the issue for her, probably, would be my guess. I doubt.
Yeah, she's one of the best at gymnastics on the European side, most definitely. And that shows with that 3rd place in that final event as well.
Yeah, and the 11th, to be fair, with all the muscle ups and hands and push ups. Well, then the next lady from the UK, we had Taylor Howell in 23rd. So again, another semi-final trip for her. so that's pretty cool. To be fair, she had some very solid finishes, a 13th and a 14th. Oh yeah, you go, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, and she's done really, really well there. And I think just above her, Camilla Solomon-Hellman, coming back from having a kid. She was a Games athlete a couple of years ago. I think she might be on the roster for CrossFit Walleye. So I don't know whether she's going back team or not. I'm not sure whether she did those workouts with the team. But yeah, still really impressive for her to come back and get a semi-finals place, whether she uses it or not. And then to sort of round out the rest of the UK people that we're seeing, Emma McQuaid in 24th. Again, I think she struggled with two of the workouts. I think I saw something that she'd been ill over quarterfinals weekend, which is why her placing probably isn't where you'd expect it to be. Because out of the 60 women who are headed to semis, like, she's definitely one of the top 11 there. Like, no doubt in my mind that she'll be one of the top people to make it through to the games. And again, she was done over by crossovers.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Welcome to...
She was indeed. Gosh, she almost lost to me. How embarrassing. Then in 25th we had Georgia Davenport, and then in 26th we have Saf Goddard, but Saf is obviously going team, so
as is Georgia.
That place would be...
They're both on the CrossFit Rotherham team.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so that's 2 spots,
which is
gone.
Yeah, like we'll talk about team next week, but they placed really, really well, and I think it was reflected by how high they were able to place in semi-finals as well.
Yeah, nice. And then in 28th we had Jennifer Muir, very solid finish as well. Took a 2nd place in workout 4 with the GHG row. That's pretty impressive. 550 reps. That's a lot. Yeah, that's pretty good.
JST athletes and being good at rowing name a more iconic duo, I think.
Yeah, she didn't finish the handstand push-up one though. Workout 1, from a quick glance, she literally had the worst score out of pretty much everyone. Well, in the top 50, she had the worst score. And then if you go to the next page, probably the worst score of all the people who qualified.
Yeah, and I think if we both kind of have an idea of how Boz is going to program the semi-finals, which is going to be an evolution in terms of skill on what we've already seen. So, a little bit concerned that she might struggle with that. But hopefully it's not too much of a bottleneck and she's able to place well in a sort of rookie year in semi-finals.
Yeah, can confirm. I just did a little quick scroll. It was the worst score in the top 60 ladies who qualified. So not ideal, but we might not see something like that again. If we do, as you said, it might be a progression of it. I mean, I don't really know how you would progress that in terms of the skill was pretty much the highest you could get. Maybe, I don't know, more reps. But
parallel wall facing handstand push-ups.
Yeah, that'd be quite interesting actually. If that comes up, R.I.P. Laura Horvath.
No, she. So I watched Rad did a sort of like behind the scenes with it for quarterfinals weekend, and she said that she prefers being in a wall facing position. She feels that that's a lot stronger for her. So she feels like she can sort of like press it out a little bit more from like incline press it, which I was like, oh, okay.
Fair enough. I mean, it is probably a fair point. Like a anatomical like position, I think might be a reason why she struggles so much with like normal like deficit strict handstand push-ups. Because here's Laura, like she's not working on them. Like she would be working on them, but if you're not getting much better, it might be a more deep rooted issue other than just and you could do more of them. You know, in different capacity styles. It might literally physically be some type of limitation in just the way her shoulder girdle is set when she presses in that position. So yeah, maybe wall facing is just set in a more efficient position for her and she's able to rep them out easier. So that'd be quite interesting. What a weird thing. Imagine if she could rep out while facing at a deficit better than just normal. That'd be quite a phenomenon.
Imagine if we were able to check
names?
this with a with a workout that was programmed at the games last year. Let me just have a quick look.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Echo Press.
She placed 39th in that workout. She placed 39th in that workout at the games. The Echo Press.
Why is she lying?
It might just be the deficit.
Yeah.
Like, let's assume it's a deficit. But anyway, yeah. She was 39th out of a field of 39 because Emily Roth had already dropped out. And was still able to come on the podium, which is ridiculously impressive. So, yeah.
Cool.
Anyone else? Evie Hollis is probably...
well, we had Evie Hollis.
Evie Hollis? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been a sort of perennial semis/regional athlete. For the past couple of years, at least. She's still only 26. In my head, she's a little bit older, but has, placed really, really well for a very long time. She's been doing CrossFit since she did her first Open in 2014, which is mad. And has slowly improved sort of year on year. So, yeah, able to make it back to semi-finals again and hopefully to push into that top 10 because she was 15th at SID last year.
Nice. Sorry, your thing, I can't hear you half the time at the moment, so the recording's being a bit dodgy today. So I'm doing my best to piece together what you're saying, even though I hear one word and then it cuts out for like 10 seconds.
So I mean, my insights
high.
My insights are not that insightful. Just insert random words and it should all sound the same. It's all good.
I'm just nodding. I'm going, yes, and I don't even know what you're saying. I mean, that's my go-to anyway, so it doesn't change much, to be honest.
It's about the level I expect from you.
Anyone else? To be fair, I'll give a shout out to that Lucy, Lucy McGonigal in 52nd, only 16 years old, qualified for semi-finals. That's pretty ridiculous, and notably coming 8th in workout 1. That's really impressive, especially considering the weight that was in there. It's not light, that first barbell. And then also, well, to be fair, coming 39th in the strength event when you're at 16 and you're doing that many clean jerks, and in 5:51, that's very fast. So very impressive. I don't know her background, but my guess, well, with the weight, I think her background would be in lifting, but that's literally just a guess. Could be wrong. Yeah, just at that age,
to touch on that,
is, pretty crazy.
Yeah, to touch on that, she obviously won the games last year in the 14 to 15 category. Came second the year before when she was 14. Which, considering that you don't expect people in the first year of the team division to even podium, because the difference between someone who's 14 and 15 is huge in terms of development. So, yeah, and she's absolutely smashed the online qualifier, coming first in the 16 to 17 at 16. So, regardless of what happens, I think she can obviously go to the individual semi-final and also do the age group online semi-final. And regardless, I think we'll end up seeing her in Madison. So that's really exciting.
Yep. Right. Anything else, or should we move on to the men?
I don't really think there was anyone crazy who missed out or was a couple of spots out. There was anything shocking. So yeah, no, happy to move on to the guys.
Yeah. Only name I would say maybe Hannah Phipson. She finished 75th and she went to semis last year. But she is 31, so I suppose you're on the older side now in the sport. So maybe just one of those years. And looking at her scores, to be fair, the only one that actually really cost her was the Row GHD one. She came 320th, so that's quite a drop compared to her other finishes are very good. So yeah, she has a stronger finish on that. She jumps up quite a lot of spots and probably gives herself a chance to get in.
Yeah, the two others that we'll call out, just while we're on the subject, who did make it in, Holly Teenan, competing out of CrossFit Aberdeen, but is Irish, and Aoife Burke out of CrossFit Shapesmiths, who is also Irish as well. So to see 4 Irish athletes qualify for semi-finals, which I think is near enough the same that we had in the UK, is kind of mad. So yeah, exciting to see Irish CrossFit continue to develop.
Cool. Right, we'll move on to the men now. So rounding out the men, in number 1, we had the reigning Dubai fitness champion, Fabian Benito. Big performance, very solid finishes, a 3rd, a 40th, a 6th, a 12th, and a 15th. Yeah, very, very big results, especially taking down BKG, the European GOAT. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think he's improving year on year, most definitely. I mean, my only issue with him is that he does.
Wasn't he retired like 2 years ago?
I haven't seen that.
He's like,
was he?
I'm pretty sure there was a story when he was like considering retirement when he was like about 25, 26, and then he comes back and then he wins World Dubai, and now he's on a roll. So I swear I saw a story about that somewhere.
I mean,
like 99% sure.
I think if I look back at his sort of the majority of competitions he does, he tends to just like put himself in a hole that he has to try and climb out of. He'll have 1 or 2 bad events. So last year at semis, it was a legless rope climb event. I saw him do it in person in Madrid a couple of years back. So it's just a little bit like if you can if you don't put yourself in that position, then you set yourself up for success. So I think that's kind of what I'd like to see him do this year, because I think he even did that in Dubai a little bit, where Burj Khalifa Challenge, he was 16th out of 20, then he wings the hang clean ladder, then he comes 10th, then he comes 6th, and then it's just a case of him trying to climb back up the leaderboard throughout the rest of the weekend, which he was able to do. But then him and Moritz Fiebig ended up level on points at the end of it. And he only got it because he'd won a couple of the events over Moritz, who was just done on tiebreak. So I'm interested to see what he can do. Obviously, he's never been to the games before. Will that pressure sort of start to play on him in semi-finals? It's going to be interesting to see. But I think if he's got that confidence from Dubai and is able to ride it through, then, he's in a great spot.
Yeah, well, as we know, like in person is always different to online qualifiers. So yeah, you're right. It'll be very interesting to see if he can back it up when it matters. But I mean, as you said, Dubai performed very well, so there's no reason he can't. So yeah, that'll be very exciting to watch. And then obviously second with BKG. I mean, there's not much else to say really. Very solid performance as usual. Nothing that really sticks out. You could say his worst finish was the rope climb one, but he was only like 10 seconds within a decent top 20 score. So, and in person that could go differently. So literally nothing to stress about BKG. I'm sure he'll be top 3, if not win Europe when it comes to semi-final time, and put up another good performance at the games. And then third, with I would say quite a big surprise, Victor Hoffer, a 20-year-old lad from France, putting up some very impressive scores, namely the workout one with a win in 5:49. I mean, depends if you go back and watch the video, I want to give him loads of penalties, but I'm not going to comment on that. But like the movement, like, I don't know. Well, I swear he's wearing all black, which is a big no-no apparently.
Yeah.
And then, what did you say? The clock was out the camera or something?
He blocks his clock occasionally, so you can't see it.
Okay.
Which is, not ideal, should we say?
Yeah, and then just like some of the squats, I suppose. I think the squats and the muscle ups, like the handstand walk's fine, the handstand push-ups are fine, but the squat, maybe the lockout, whatever, doesn't look great. And the muscle ups, you could argue he looks like he's pushing away on every one. But I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen way worse movement. It's not really something to get hung up about. But he did move very fast. Like when I was watching, I was like, wow, he just didn't stop. It was very impressive.
He's showing, and I think that will have played into his favor. Is that the way that these workouts were structured was very, very good for him. You know, he's a really good gymnastics athlete. That's what he's like. He was at Dubai in December and had like his sort of best event was the final event, which was a very strong gymnastics event, and wasn't that strong in a couple other bits. So he's made some great steps up in performance. I'm excited to see what he can do in Berlin. See if we can put it all together.
Yeah, it'll be a good watch. And then fourth, we had Lazar Dukic. Again, not too surprising. He's definitely, settling in now as one of the, just the regulars at the top in the European scene for the men's side. So, yeah, another strong performance. And then in fifth and sixth, we had a bit of surprise. In fifth place, we had Harry Lightfoot take the top spot of the UK men, followed right behind him with Reggie Fasser. So, yeah, I don't know what you thought, but I think, well, we're not the only ones probably that were very surprised to see out of UK people, Harry to take number one and a fifth in Europe as well. And obviously beating out Reggie. So, yeah, very interesting. It makes things exciting in the European scene and the UK scene, because for the last 2 years or so, Reggie's pretty much been like, I suppose the new kid on the block who's everyone's putting their chips in, like to be like, this is the new guy that could make it to the games. And then, yeah, out of nowhere, Harry Lightfoot comes in and, yeah, takes top spot.
Well, yeah, I think I haven't seen anything to indicate to me that Harry Lightfoot's like been able to take that step up, really. Like I haven't seen it. Like he was at French Throwdown, he came 10th in that field, which was sort of what I would characterize as Berlin minus the top 15, maybe top 15, is the sort of a comparative field that we're seeing. So for him to perform this well in that kind of a stacked field is really like good on lad. Like it's, I'm excited to see it. And I think the chat alone between those two a couple of days after the leaderboard was and all their scores were submitted. It was pure entertainment.
Yeah, it's good.
It was good. Like, so I think it was all meant in quite lightheartedly. So if they can sort of take that out onto the competition floor and carry on that little bit of chat leading into semi-finals, I think it's going to be an entertaining spectacle for us to witness on the floor.
No, yeah, it was definitely, and like if you look at their scores, very close really between them, and each one it went back and forth. So Harry won the first one, Reggie won the second one, Harry won the third one just by 3 seconds. Then Reggie comes back and wins the fourth one, and then Harry wins the last one. So very back and forth. Their times aren't far apart at all. Be very interesting to see how they end up going head to head in person in a few months' time. Right, further down we had Janikowski, again another regular European. Nothing too surprising there. Had a pretty poor finish in the crossovers, which pretty much again took him out probably over like a top 3 position, because he had a 10th, a 28th, a first and a fourth, but then he had 123rd on workout 2, which had the crossovers. So again, nothing really to worry about with him. I'm pretty sure he'll comfortably make it to the games again. So
yeah, that workout was 74% of his overall number of points.
There you go. So no stress in that. Well, unless it comes up again and he hasn't figured it out, but I'm sure he'll be fine by then. Right, further down we had 9th Maurice Feibig, 10 Enrico Zanoni, who he went to the games last year, didn't he? I think.
Yeah, him and Moritz were both rookies last year.
Okay.
So
nice.
Yeah, interested to see how well they're able to do. going into this year as well, if they're able to repeat it or whether they're just sort of those one-hit wonders. I think Moritz put up a decent group of scores. Like, again, he's a very strong gymnastics athlete. And so he's had like a good set of performances there, which, considering he's a much bigger guy, you'd probably expect him to do heavier on the weighted stuff. So yeah, really impressive that he's able to do what he's able to do in workout one, which was play 16th overall at 95 kilos overall. I think he's close to 100 now.
Fair. That is big. That's pretty good. And then in 11th, we had Big Bron, who apparently has finally decided to actually start training CrossFit. Only took about 5 years, but we got him there finally.
Thanks for the wonderful insight, Morning Chalk Up. Yeah, if I have to watch another paid for like publicity post by some sort of training camp, I'm gonna it's riveting stuff, in all honesty.
Well,
he's fluff pieces.
Well, breaking news, he's pretty much Underdog's next big hope because Ricky's out, so Justin Kotler's career is riding on the shoulders of Bron.
It's a good job they're big shoulders, that's all I'm saying.
Exactly. hate to see a run in the swim, though. Hate to see a run in the swim. It sinks.
Yeah, I think his, unsurprisingly, his worst finish was workout 4, the GHD in row. Like, his capacity for longer events just isn't there. So he's made it to the games before. He came second at SID, or third. No, he won SID in 2019. It was a sectional year. Yes, won SID then, made it through to the games. And the programming that year was just very kind to him. I think, we went from a max snatch into 30 cal assault bike, 30 clean and jerks into Grace. And he won both of those workouts by going comically slow on the assault bike and then going unbroken on the clean and jerks, which it was quite entertaining. Him and Zach were like essentially like he was just creeping up on Zach the whole time, but like they were on opposite ends of the stadium. So I say stadium, the hall. So you didn't see. So I was obviously focused on Zach, like watching him go, and then like you heard this like massive cheer come up like a couple of seconds before Zach finished, and Bron's just like coming over the finish line just really casually. Like I watched it back after, and his heart rate like didn't go above like he did it zone 2 essentially. Like he was just chilling. It was ridiculously impressive to watch. The guy's an absolute machine at some particular things. He did a Turkish get up with an assault bike. He's done some very impressive things. Yeah, genuinely, it's mad. So yeah, like if he's now focusing on CrossFit, I'm really interested to see what he can do. But he's 34, so if he's just doing this now to give Sam Dancer a push next year in the age groups, then more power to him.
That'd be fine. Well, what next year? Sam Dancer, Bron, and Rich Froning.
One of these three is not like the others.
Moving on, we have in 12th we have older Supernix. Again, very solid finishes. His only weakest workout was workout 3, which isn't too surprising. He's definitely smaller, lighter athlete. Still a good score, like 6:36 on the clean and jerk one is still very fast. But yeah, his only one that held him back a bit. And then 13th, we had Alex Katulis. Again, another strong performance. Pretty consistent for him. His worst was workout 1, which again, probably just the handstand push-ups as a limitation. But some very good finishes across the board. Anyone else that sticks out to you in that middle range of like 14th onwards?
Henrik Apelainen, never great at online competitions because again he's a bit of a bigger guy, so I'm expecting to see him do quite well. He had a really strong group of performances, apart from workout 1 where he came 158th, and that's just that's just pressing fatigue building up because he's a bigger guy. Luka Dukic, sitting in 17th is interesting. He's been quite active, winning his sandcastle competitions, as I think Reggie called it in one of his stories. So I'm interested to see if he can put it back together. He was talking about the fact that he was injured going into last year. He's excited now that he's training without injury. So yeah, it's just a case of him putting it all together and making it back to the games. Because he's obviously been to the games once before, missed out last year, mainly based on the fact that he couldn't lift one of the barbells as well. I'm surprised by Caravis, if I'm honest.
Yeah, being a smaller, he's not, well, say he's 92 kg, so he weighs quite a lot for his height, because he's not a tall guy.
Like some of these, like I wouldn't place bets on that being his actual weight.
Super accurate, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the crossover one got him a bit, because he's probably fit enough to go faster, because 392 isn't like an amazing score. And yeah, I mean, he did well in the last one, a 10th place, 452. That's motoring. Don't know. The combination of those first three, like a 73rd, 133rd, and 47th, aren't like super consistent for those top guys. Like if you cut those down, he could easily be a top 10. So yeah, maybe for him, just the handstand push-ups got him, and then yeah, maybe the weight is a bit tough, but yeah, I suppose a bit surprising that he was that far down. But I mean, again, still comfortably in, and you never know in person.
He's
different.
He came fourth at semis in 21, fourth at semis in 22, and has never placed. He improved on his quarterfinals placing from last year, which is I think is all he needed to do. So I remember he was in the penultimate heat at Sid, and so he'd set a time, and then everyone else would like try and get to it. I remember the ring muscle up workout we had at Sid last year. He absolutely dominated it. I think went unbroken the whole way, and it was so impressive. It was ring muscle ups, hand power snatch, and pistols.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that's his ballpark workout. Did really like high skill gymnastics that are pulling. Like he's going to do incredibly well
on. Right, moving further down, we had. Well, we'll get to the first UK guy, I suppose. We had Dan Tai in 25th, but he is going team, so that spot will be voided. But still, very impressive finish. And to be fair, his last two were his downfalls. He could have probably had a top 20 quite easily. I mean, the row one, I know he's like a smaller guy, so maybe that is a bit hard to improve massively. But I'm quite surprised by his workout 5 finish. I think a bit of pulling gymnastics and a deadlift would be, right up his street. So maybe, I don't know, maybe the grip fatigue.
He's so strong.
Yeah, so maybe grip fatigue is like a limitation for him. So that's a bit surprising, but it doesn't matter too much. Like he's going team, so not then in the world. And then in 28th, we had Josh Alcharma, again going team. So, but the quarters didn't matter apparently loads because he needed to boost that world ranking, for literally no reason.
No, he's doing it for all the other European guys,
He's doing it to make a point. He sacrificed himself so we could run.
I mean, he definitely, I don't think has ever said. I don't think he said last year after quarterfinals where he placed in the top 10. Still fits in the UK. We'll see you guys next year when I'm done with team or something similar to that. So let the man just.
I swear I saw one of the ladies on his team. She did really well in individual. She's going individual, but I know it was an Invictus girl.
I think that's her sister.
Right, because I did see it was definitely a lady from Invictus, but she was planning to go team, and then she's pulled out her team. But I didn't follow that up if that was his teammate.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
because the Weiss sisters.
I see.
Yeah.
Right. Moving.
But yeah, no, like fair play, he did very well. I think he got a couple of penalties as well. I was just having a look. Like him and Dan Tai both got penalties on the GHD one as well.
Oh, interesting. I mean, that legitimately it depends what you get a penalty for. If you're getting it for not having the height right or something, fair enough. But the seat position thing, I think, is the most stupid, like one of the most stupid standards they've put in there. Like, it's just like if you want to penalise people, then go penalise someone like Medeiros. I watched his video, like he moves very fast, but like his butt moves forward slightly. And was that a no rep? You're going to no rep the best in the world at his best movement because his butt comes literally half an inch forward every rep on a pad that you should be able to sit anywhere. Like those like little things where CrossFit just make it way too just stupid. Like I set the standard. Like the height thing's fine, whatever. Put a plate in for the touch, but for where you sit, just get the work done. Like, and having it half the pad, yes, because you're supposed to judge that perfectly, aren't you? Where someone's butt starts. It's just so stupid. Oh dear.
I honestly, I listened to a podcast with Adrian Bosman and Chase Ingram, the CrossFit Games podcast. Because obviously all I do is listen to CrossFit podcasts, and I probably need to get a life, but here we are. And there were so many frustrating moments where he was talking about like, oh, well, we all know what this movement looks like. We all know what a thruster looks like. I'm like, so why have you made it so much more complex than it needs to be? It genuinely feels like every single workout they've released, they've had a slightly different team working on it. So they've all done things slightly differently. They don't appear to have like a set of, right, okay, when we go out and we talk about a thruster, this is what we're going to do. You saw the number of errors that were cropping up across, talking about snatch weights in a workout with cleans. Like, it's just, it feels really so lazy.
Stupid. Yeah.
It's not hard to like check copy before you release stuff. No, it's really not.
Yeah, the best one was like Hiller. He does get a bit irritating sometimes, but like a clip of sort of there. There's like a clip of it was like zooming in on the standards for the wall facing handstand push up, and one of the lines was make sure your heels are against the wall. And it's like, how the fuck are you supposed to have your heels against the wall on a wall facing handstand push up? Oh, bless you. Death of doubt like that though.
Yeah. No, it was
but yeah, so that stupid stuff like that. Anyway,
Luca Vunjak in 26th had two really strong placings at Lowlands last year. He came third in one workout and first in the other, and he was in a qualifying spot going into the final day, and then he just couldn't put it together. So I think he's only 23, so I'm quite interested to see if he's been able to bring up his shortcomings this year. He did a little bit better on the lifting one than I probably thought he would. Was probably pulled down a little bit more on the because of the crossovers and the final event as well, which pulled him down. He was 147th in that, which is surprising.
Yeah. Right. Should we move further down to some of the other UK guys? So we had in 39th, David Sharonki, another semi-final spot in the bag. So very impressive. Probably was a bit, I don't know if he was that worried, but maybe a bit concerned after day one when you take a 230 seconds in event one. Not ideal for a start, but came back very strong with a 35th, a 4th, 75th, and then 90 seconds. So yeah, good finishes there. I mean, the clean jerk one definitely evened out his first one with a 4th place. So that does always help a lot. We can put up a top 10 finish in Europe. And then further down we had Tom Kingdon in 40 seconds. Well, he got a major
penalty on workout one.
Oh, that probably makes sense then.
Yeah.
Does it say what for?
Incorrect measurement of the handstand push-up line.
How, like, I don't understand, like, how... The only thing that has me thinking is maybe they've, like, measured... Because I don't know how you did it, but we basically just had tape and tore a bit of tape. But let's say some of the bit is a bit jagged. Maybe they take that as, like, that's longer than Does that make sense? I don't know if they're really pedantic of you needed like a straight line or something.
Or they don't measure it. They don't measure the width. They just measure how far away it is from the wall or something.
It might be a tape. Yeah.
If you're not showing the correct measurement,
then
it's,
That's also a stupid rule. Why does the width of the tape matter if the line's going to be from 10 inches, like outside the tape? Like, why does that matter?
Because otherwise you could put your arms really, really far apart.
Oh, I thought you meant the actual physical width of the tape, because in the rules it says
no.
can't be.
I think they did say that.
Yeah, and it's like such a stupid. It's like, why the tape can't be thicker than like 2 inches or something? It's like, why does that matter if you're going to 10 inches? It doesn't matter how thick the tape. Like, that makes no sense. Like, why does that matter? It's just stupid stuff like that. Oh yeah, the width. Yeah, the 30 inches rule. Yeah. Get that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So when you tear the tape, if it's jagged, they might like void that or penalise you for it instead of like as a straight cut. But yeah, just not me getting worked about the thickness of a tape line. CrossFit lives rent free in my head 24/7. Dear. But my point still stands. What a silly thing.
Yeah. I mentioned Yellow Hoster earlier, who's sitting in 44th. He obviously didn't submit a score last year for quarterfinals, but was able to this year and I definitely think has got the lowest placing on Workout 1 at 321st. The fact that he's able to make it with a score that low is very impressive. And shows that he's able to do some really good stuff on the other workouts as well. So yeah, credit to him.
Yeah, that is impressive. 42nd, we skipped over him, but Tom Kingdon.
Oh yeah. Well, we started talking about him, sorry. And then...
Yeah, it's all right. And then we started ranting about the tape. So he's 21, first semi-final, would be appearance, but he's not competing because he has a wrist injury and he's has a surgery apparently coming up this month, so it's going to take him out. Well, he does. I was just quoting he does. That's what he said. I'm just going off what he said. He's got surgery coming up and he will be out of action. So, I mean, fair play for qualifying with a wrist injury. So
yeah, he's only been doing CrossFit he's only been registering for the Open for the past 3 years. In 2020, so he's made quarterfinals every year that he's done it. So he's made was 1276th in quarterfinals in 2021, 339th in 2022, and 42nd in 2023. So, huge improvement from him there.
Yep. Who else done it? Oh, we had Oleg Lysenko in 44th. Some pretty good finishes. Surprisingly, struggled on event 3 with the barbell. 9 minutes to complete it.
Not
surprising. Surprising in terms of just that level of athlete. Like, that's close to Hoster's 322nd. Like, that's quite far down for a top European placement wise. But for him, yes, maybe not that surprising. But as a score, quite surprising. Still some really solid finishes in the other event, like a 13th in the crossover one. Again, that's pretty much a 13th and a 34th and a 49th. Pretty much got him in. So that always honestly, it always helps just to have one big finish or 2 or 3 good top 50 finishes. You pretty much put yourself in a very, very strong chance to qualify when it comes down to this. And then 2 spots down, we had Sam Parkin. Actually, very consistent finishes. A lot bunched around the 100 mark. 155th and 182, but everything else was in the 90s and 80s. So very, very solid stuff. And
yeah, he made it to. He's been up at this level before. Made it to semis in 2021. And also made it to regionals in 2018 and 2017 on a team as well.
Cool. And then anyone else that stands out further down, I'll give out a shout to that Manuel Dobbin. I don't know how you pronounce his surname. I do apologise to Manuel. But I've listened to a podcast of his coach, and his coach basically said on that last workout, he did it in the morning and then he realised it probably wasn't going to be good enough. So he redid it later and beat his old score by like 40 seconds or something, which is a lot.
Wow.
And redoing it like 3 hours later, that's very impressive to like just recover and then also obviously go faster. That is pretty impressive. But then his coach did say, well, if he's gone that much faster on the second attempt, why didn't he just go faster the first time? Which is a fair point. And he's a young guy, so that is very impressive. Only 22, so pretty cool for him.
Yeah, very cool.
And then, well, I suppose outside, even though he probably will be going up because, well, it depends which one he wants to go to, but Stephen Fawcett in 61st, with people dropping out for team, that pretty much guarantees Steve a spot if he wants to go to semis. I don't know if he's decided if he's going to semis or if he's going to age group.
I think he can and will do both.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So my understanding for how it works this season is that, yes, you can do that. And yeah, it'll put you in a fairly, what was I going to say? Yeah, you're able to do that, and like nobody's going to say anything.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
fair enough. Cool. That's pretty cool. No, I bet there's not many people doing that this season. Like,
there's not a huge amount of people doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really good.
That's pretty cool. Any other surprises further down? Well, I suppose one big surprise in 68th, Willie Georges.
Yeah. I think he got a couple of penalties that I think he was really gutted about, but I think post shoulder injury, obviously that shoulder workout is tough. Like it's a tough workout for him. So yeah, I think it was always going to be a little bit like, is he going to be able to get it done, that kind of thing? And
but that is
obviously just missed out.
Yeah, I mean that I know shoulder injury, but that is a really poor finish. Like, no offense, but that's a poor finish in event one. That is though.
It is.
Like, if I'm beating you by almost a minute, then you know something's gone really wrong in that workout.
Humble brag.
But yeah, so, but how many people do you think in that top 60 are going team? Because he is only 8 spots out. So,
so I've done the maths on this, and I spent a very long time looking at people's Instagrams to try and figure it out. And I don't think he's got enough, basically.
Hence the retirement.
Yeah. It was, but I think, like, you know, like, you don't really know how it's going to shake out. So, like, you probably should just give it a go. Like, there's no harm in giving it a go and trying it. So,
yeah. I don't know, but he, well, to be fair, he did. Some people say that retirement came out of nowhere, but in his thing, he did say he had it planned regardless of what happens. He was going to tie the end of the season individually, but unfortunately, just happened a bit earlier in the season than he probably thought. I bet he thought he'd probably at least have a good chance to go to the games again and have a nice finish to his career. But it happens sometimes. It's not. Doesn't always happen the way you want it. Right. Anything else, or should we wrap that and have a little chat about last weekend's events?
Just give me 2 seconds. I'm just doing some.
All right. While you're doing that, I'll also look at 87
analysis.
Christoph Horvath. As we said, Ben spotted like a live shuffling of the leaderboard. Went from inside to outside the cut line. A big penalty on workout 1, took 625th with a score of 14.04. So that's not going to get it done, unfortunately for him, which is a shame because his other scores are very, very solid. A 65th for 22nd and 19th and 18th. That probably would have put him easily close to top 20 if his other score hadn't been such a I don't know what it was. and negative impact. Right. I think.
Just to call out. So for the men, if we look at that top 65, I've called it 65 because we know that a couple of people are going to come in, a couple of people are going to drop out, etc. You've got 10 males from. Is this right? There that many UK guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, there are. Wow. So by country, Spain has the most number of participants, 10 of them in total, in the top 65 heading into semi-finals. The UK has 9, France has 8, Italy has 7, Poland has 4, Serbia has 3, with 2 of those 3 being the Dukic brothers. Greece has 3, Germany has 3, Finland has 3, Switzerland have a couple, as do Sweden and Belgium, and then Croatia, Georgia, Iceland, Ireland, Latvia, Norway, Slovakia, and Slovenia all have 1 representative each. I think the sort of biggest thing to probably call out there is the underrepresentation of Germany. You expect Germany, with its big population, like a relatively fit population as well, also with things like High Rocks being founded there, to have a very high level. And to have only 3 German athletes, I think I'd expect to see that starting to shift in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
But sorry, I started looking at that spreadsheet and I was just like, I kind of want to see what numbers these are. So, prior to us looking at Battle for Middle Ground. But yeah.
Right. No apologies. No apologies around here.
Unless we're apologizing for my terrible workout scores.
Yeah, right, cool. So we'll move on to this past weekend. There was a fairly big competition in the UK called March's Mayhem, which is a Battle for Middle Ground event. It's basically, day 1 on the Saturday was teams of 4, I believe, male and female, RX and scaled / elite. I don't know if there's elite as well, or if it was just RX, which is the same category. Was there any pairs on that day? Or was it just all pairs on the Sunday?
I think it was just all pairs on the Sunday. Just give me 30 seconds to find the leaderboard.
Well, on the Sunday there was pairs of elite, RX, and then there was there a middle ground pairs? Well, there was adaptive division, which was quite cool. So like a proper adaptive event, which there's not many of those around. So, and they ran it properly. So that was pretty cool for them to get an opportunity. And so, well, I don't know how you want to recap this, but I suppose, big win for the boys, Josh Burnison and Ben Fairley. 2 of our good friends took the win in the RX division. So that was pretty cool. I think last year they came, 4th, and they definitely felt they could have easily been on the podium. And then they came back this year and proved it with a big win and some very impressive finishes. I think they started the day with a win on the machine workout. For those who don't know, it was as a pair for time. Partner A did a 1,000 meter bike into 10 shuttle runs into 500 meter row. And then once that was finished, then between the 2 of you, you do 200 double unders. Tactically, you'd leave that to partner B to do the bigger chunk because they're fresh. So then partner B would start off with a big set of double unders, let partner A recover a bit. Then partner A probably finish off the double unders, while partner B goes over to the machine, and then it's just the inverse. So then partner B would do 500 meter row, then 10 shuttles, and finish on a 1,000 meter bike. So that was event 1 of the day, and I think Ben and Josh won that event.
In their category, yeah.
In their category, really good start to the day. I think even then, I think I said to them, I think if they got through the lift event, they pretty much have a very good chance of winning overall, because knowing the snatch bar muscle up workout coming up, there was no reason they weren't going to do well on that one. And then knowing the last one as well, with bike, toes to bar, burpees and thrusters, there was no reason they weren't going to do well on that one as well. So the only real hiccup, like possibility of a hiccup, would be the lifting event. And it wasn't even a max lift. which helps a bit as well. More of a barbell cycling one at a heavy weight, but still sub-maximal. And yeah, they got through that. There was no reason they were going to win. And yeah, they pretty much did. They smashed it. Like event 2, did you say you've got the leaderboard up there?
You have bought me enough time. I now do have the leaderboard up.
All right. So where did they come in event 2? I think they might have. Did they win event 2? At least a top 3 finish.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the wrong workout.
No, brilliant.
I realized I was on the Ragnarok individual qualifiers.
We'll get to that. We'll get to them. Don't worry.
Yeah,
don't you worry. But yeah, as Ben,
I think
for the official results, I'll just keep just splurging. And then event 3 was event 2 was a bar muscle up snatch one. It was quite a cool workout. As a pair, it was 21. Well, for RX, I believe it was 18, 12,
9.
Well, 18, 15, 9 then. Or 18, was it 18, 12, 9?
Yep.
So yeah, random. But anyway, 18, 12, 9. You basically just share the work as a pair. So the one little twist was if you drop from the bar muscle ups, your partner's standing at the other end of the floor, so you'd have to run out and they have to run back. So there was a bit of time lost. So there was a bit tactical on how you broke the bar muscle ups up. But with the snatches, it was pretty much you're both at the barbell. So just depending if you wanted to go quick singles and then pass it over, or just rotate round in singles, or do some touch and go sets. So yeah, it was actually a very fun partner workout. And then event 3 was a clean and jerk, sort of like a sprint ladder. 30 reps for their competition, it was 55. Then it was 20 reps at 75. Then 10 reps at 95. And then 5 reps at 115. And just for time, again, split how you want. So again, tactically, most pairs would basically do bigger sets at the lighter weights, and then as the weights got heavier, you drop down to quick singles between the two of you. And then the last event was quite interesting, like team mixed of like you go, I go / synchro work. It was 30 cows on the air bike while the other partner holds 2 dumbbells on their shoulders, and then into 30 synchro toes to bar. And you come off that and you do 30 synchro burpees over a worm into 30 worm thrusters, and then you go back, and then the other partner's back on the bike for 30 cows while the other partner holds the dumbbells. Then you go back to toes to bar, do 30 synchro toes to bar again, and then it was 15 burpees over the worm into 15 worm thrusters. So those are the events for the day. I thought they were actually quite well programmed for like a team event and for a battle for middle ground event, quite varied, which was nice to see. I mean, still everything basically 10 minutes, like time cap wise, but that's going to happen on a 1-day competition just because of scheduling. Like, can't really do much.
Yeah,
about
I kind of. So the second workout was changed from a 1-rounder. So for elite it was 21:15.9, but then changed it to be a 2-rounder of 21:15.9. I think that the impression I get is that they like to favor having people out on the floor for an extended period of time. So not just like, finishing with like a 3 or 4 minute workout, which is what it potentially could have been. Cause it was that was more of a sprint workout. So I think that's the impression I got, is that it's right, let's keep everyone out on the floor. Let's keep them doing things, and get them to fill the time cap as much as possible. Cause it was they were all very tough time caps on the whole, I would say.
Yeah, well, only really the last one. Well, as in, when they made it 2-rounder for event 2, yes, that made it hard. But yeah, event 1 was fine under the time cap, and event 3, the clean and jerk one, was also fine under the time cap. I mean, event 4 was basically impossible to finish under the time. I don't even know who got close to finishing under the time cap, to be honest. So Ben and Josh won their heat. They won their heat. I think they might have won that whole event, the final event, and they only just got off the toes bar in the second round. They still had 15 burpees and 15 thrusters.
Yeah, I think they did on the women's side.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
I think they did very well on the women's side.
Was it the same cows on the women's side?
That I do not know. And I don't know if I'm able to find out very quick. You know it was less. And less synchro toes to bar.
Okay.
So, yeah, that explains it.
I see.
But yeah, that front crack hold took some prisoners, didn't it, Matthew?
It did indeed. I don't know who you're referring to, but could be.
No. Could be anyone. Could be anyone.
Yeah, well, I did it in the elite with my partner Alex Clementson, and yeah, I got absolutely buried on the dumbbell, like just the hold. Oh dear, that was tough. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. It was just really hard. I don't know why it felt so hard. I was just standing there. Why does this feel so hard? I did do it on the second round, so I suppose I was somewhat fatigued, but I didn't feel that tired really going into it. I suppose end of the day, and then you've done a bunch of work to get there. But yeah, they were surprisingly rough. Like everyone put them down, which made me feel a bit better. I was very worried that I was the only one putting them down, but then I was looking down the line, other people started putting them down as well, so I didn't feel too bad. But it was hard. Maybe would have felt a bit easier if my partner could have cycled a bit faster, but we won't get into it.
Savage! I can't believe you called him out like that.
It's all right.
I can't believe anyone would do that.
We've been having debriefs every day since the event. No, it was good fun.
Yeah.
Like it was good fun. A bit like I think for Alex, it was a bit of an eye opener, just the level of elite, which is fine. That just happened because that was his first one, like competition at like the elite level, which is. Can be eye-opening, but at the same time I said to him there's nothing you can get down about because we were literally the first heat of the day for every workout, including RX, and we were basically just the test dummies for every workout. It's just people don't understand going after a heat before you is so much, well, just I wouldn't say easier, but you get so much data from it that it can make your execution a lot more efficient and in turn make your score a bit better than what it would be if you went in blind, which is what we were doing every event, which I mean, it happens. It is what it is. It's just because we were in the worst heat just because of the qualifiers. Annoyingly, I think we qualified maybe in the better heat, but then we got a penalty in the qualifiers, and then we weren't even going to be in elite, and then the team dropped out, and then we got bumped up back into elite, but in the worst heat. So the whole thing was a bit of a mess. And then, yeah, out on the floor, and we executed well. Like, we were happy with event one. We knew it was going to be our strongest one, but couldn't really go much better than what our fitness. We didn't really have any execution errors out on the floor. And then event two, like, we literally executed our plan fine, but then obviously in reflection, we're like, our plan could have probably been a bit more aggressive because we did quick singles on the barbell, and then the bar muscle ups. We were just doing everything in 3 sets, and then until we got near the end and we tried to push it a bit, which we did. We like nabbed a few spots at the end with our little push, but then it was frustrating coming off the floor and realizing we were only 9 reps away from winning the whole event on event 2, and we definitely felt like we could have done that. Like, there was definitely more left in the tank afterwards. And then event 3, again, we executed well, I thought, for our strategy. Again, not many mistakes, really. We moved the barbell as fast as we could, and it was the best finish. I think we came 6th, but again, there were just some strong boys out there. And that one was within a few seconds of each other, so it wasn't, again, the end of the world. And then the last event, we did shit the bed on the last one. That was horrendous. 0 communication on the worm. In fairness, never been on the worm before. And I think I actually done it only about 2 or 3 times. And then, I was nicely informed afterwards that I was standing way too far back at the back end of the worm, and apparently probably the weight was probably making it feel like an actual 70 kg thruster for Alex, whereas for me it was about 10 kg, which makes sense because I was actually crushing that worm. Alex was not.
You mean you were absolutely crushing Alex?
Yeah, literally. I wonder why he was so messed up. I was like, we did only 8 reps, and then he looked absolutely buried, and I'm like tapping him on the back, like, come on, let's pick it up. And he looked absolutely rocked. I was so confused. But it made sense afterwards, watching the videos back. I was like, I had my hands where I probably should have put my shoulders. So I was a good 10 inches from like the sweet spot, which makes all the difference, unfortunately.
Indeed.
I had fun. It was a good day. out with the boys. Like a few of the BFG guys came up as well, so that was fun. So I wasn't going there with any expectations to like finish high or anything. It would have been nice to get to the final. That was like our sort of small goal for the day, just to get to the final, because there was an extra event for the elites, which would have been fun, and we definitely were fit enough to do that. But again, just going heat one, our strategy just wasn't ideal on some of the workouts. And then, yeah, the last event, we just didn't give ourselves any. We went into the final event being on the cut line for the final. So top 7 qualified, we were 7th. And then we did ourselves no favours with coming second last in the last event. But yeah, no, it was still a fun day, and it was really cool seeing Josh and Ben take the win. So yeah, I can't complain. It was a good day, good event. And then we actually had a member at our gym who did the adaptive, and they came 3rd, I believe. So that was pretty cool. They too, I think, believe they could have won if they had some better strategies. But yeah, that is what it is with competing. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you're fit enough, and it's just other factors like strategy that can play a role in the outcome. But yeah, that's what competition experience is for. So yeah, no, it's a good day.
To do a little summary of how people did, JST Oreo came in 1st on the male elite pairs side, with What Men Want in 2nd and Flux in 3rd. Then to filter over to the female, Can't Press, Won't Press came in 1st, winning every single event apart from the penultimate event. And CrossFit Aylesbury, fresh off a heavy team quarterfinals experience, came in 2nd overall, with the Defiant Co in 3rd as well. So they did really, really well. Looking across at the male falls compete, Team Sparkle came in 1st, with To The Top in 2nd, and another CrossFit Aylesbury team in 3rd. I think also coming fresh off a team quarterfinal as well, which is very impressive. And then the Defiant Co making an appearance again. CrossFit Elston Mayflowers, which I think was also the CrossFit Elston team that I just referenced, and also included a couple of other people who had done team quarterfinals the preceding 2 days, and AOD Baby in 3. Some people have some ridiculous capacity. It's insane that they're able to do some ridiculously hard online qualifiers and then come through and compete in person at the weekend as well.
Yeah, I can't relate. I was actually asked by 2 teams to go do the 4s with them, and I said no because, well, I blamed it on like saying I need to be fresh for my partner. But that is pretty much true, because I just know I'll be wrecked. I wouldn't be able to recover for day 2 if I did a full day in the 4s, even though it probably wasn't as much work. But yeah, it's a pretty good event. Would recommend anyone listening to this who didn't do it and think about wanting to do like a bigger competition, and you're with people, so it's less intimidating than doing a solo competition. So you can either do the 4s or the pairs. It's good fun. It's a good day. Yeah, would recommend.
Yeah, I think Battle for Milligrand's always a well-run comp, and because they cater to a lot of levels, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Should we? Well, speaking of UK competitions, we do have some coming up now in this season. So right on the horizon, Workout Qualifier 1 has actually just been released today. We have Battlefield Underground Ragnarok. So this is, I believe it's all individual. There's loads of categories. There's Elite, RX, Middle Ground. I think there's Scaled, Men, Female. I'm not sure if there's an adapted division as well. I think they're moving location. So I don't think it's going to be at the same Peterborough venue as it has been. But yeah, so
I think it's in Kenilworth, Ragnarok is.
Where's that?
Which is just to the east of Coventry. So very much in the Midlands.
Cool.
Still very easy to get to.
Yeah. I think most competitions run by them around that anyway, just for that reason, pretty much. Cool. Yeah, well, so we can go into that first qualifier, have a little look at it. Well, I mean, I can sort of remember it from the top of my head if you're looking it up, but I think it was, well, I know it's an 8-minute AMRAP in it of 6 devil's press, For the guys, it was 2 times 22.5 kg. So for ladies, it'd be 2 times 15 kg into 12 power cleans. For the RX/Elite, it was 70 kg. For middle ground, at 60 kg. So for the ladies, that'll probably be, well, for the middle ground, I assume, 42.5-ish kg, 43 kg. And then for
60 and 42.5 for the middle ground.
Yeah. And then what about the RX Elite? What's the ladies' weight?
70, 47.5.
Okay, yeah, cool. And then into 36 double unders. And then it's 8-minute AMRAP. Yeah. And then you get a 1-minute rest. And then at the 9-minute mark, you have, is it 6 minutes to hit a 1-rep max hang clean. So yeah, what are your thoughts about that one, Benjamin?
I think Battle for Middle Ground like grip, don't they?
Or do they not like grip? They just want to hammer your grip.
They want to hammer your grip.
Yeah. Grip all the time. Devil's press, what a surprise. Wow, what a shock. It's the only movement they know.
It
is though. When you do devil's press in the qualifiers and then it comes up twice in the same competition, on the same competition weekend, you know they've got an addiction. That was last year's Ragnarok event. I mean, for those who done these qualifiers before, they wouldn't be too surprised because Ragnarok for some reason have like a devil's press fetish, and it just comes up all the time, and it's always grippy, intensive style work. Like for example, last year's qualifiers was, workout 1 was the impossible workout, 12 down to 1 of, I believe it started with devil's press into dumbbell box step overs into thrusters with 2 dumbbells, 12 down to 1, and it was only like I think maybe like a 14-minute, if that, I don't know, the time count wasn't long. Basically, no one finished it, not even got close to finishing it. And then workout 2 was more grip. It was, I think it was like an AMRAP of 3 wall walks, I think like 10 toes to bar, and like 12 hang power snatches at like 50 kg. And then the final qualifier workout was max bench in like 3 minutes into the final 1-rep max. And then at that weight, it was like 3 1-minute EMOMs, like windows.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Or 3 2-minute EMOMs or whatever it was, of like 10 burpee over the bars into max deadlifts at your bench weight, and then rest 1 minute, and then into 2 minutes max ring muscle ups. So very odd qualifiers, but I mean, that's just what they do. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, and then following on to the event last year, day 1 was literally just all max lifts with a sprint charity workout at the end. Day 1 started with a
charity workout.
It was. It wasn't even on the floor. It was at the charity. It was at the Battle for Cancer charity stand. That's where it was.
I remember. Yeah, because everyone went one at a time.
Yeah,
and you literally had people standing there watching the person in front go, know their score, and just row. Because I think the first part of it was like rowing, and then it was 2 AMRAPs after that, straight into each other. And so you know what everyone got. So you had such a huge benefit by going into that one in first place.
Yep, it was very odd. It was like, day 1 started with a 1-minute AMRAP of max log clean and press at 90 kg. Shout out Josh Burniston's tantrum, storming out the venue to sit on a bench. And then event 2 was a max snatch. And then event 3 was a max clean and jerk. And then event 4 was those, 3 little scored events at the Battle for Cancer stand. It was like a 3-minute row for max cows, 1-minute transition, or even 1 minute. It was like a 30-second transition, if that, into a 3-minute AMRAP of devil's press and burpees, rest 1 minute, whatever it was, into a 3-minute AMRAP of like kettlebell swings, goblet squats. And that was it, I think. Yeah.
No, it was kettlebell swings. It was ascending reps of kettlebell swings and goblet squats.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. It was like a complex of that. Very odd. And then day 2 was a bit better, but still very grip intensive. Like you start with, it was like interval workout of like 5 or 4 rounds of, I think it was like 50 dubs into 15 chest to bar into max devil's press. Oh, there it is, devil's press again, twice in the same competition weekend. And then like the next event was deadlifts, dumbbell walking lunges, wall balls, toes over like a chipper style thing. Event 3 on the second day was all grip. It was such a weird rep scheme, like 15, 12, 9, cows on an air bike, hang squat cleans at 70 kg and shoulder overhead. So the air bike was basically irrelevant. You basically should have just done DT or something. That was pretty much what the workout was. And then the final event was shock more grip. It was like a 6-minute hand wrap of, I think it was like 6 overhead squats at 60 kg into, I think it was 9 overhead squats or 10 overhead squats at 60 kg into 6 bar muscle ups. Rest 2 minutes, and then just to finish you off, a 2-minute AMRAP of max snatches at 60 kg. So as you can see, Ragnarok do love a barbell, and they love quite grip intensive workouts, which is fine if that's their theme. That's not the end of the world, but when there's only a few competitions in the whole season, you would probably like to do something a bit more well-rounded. But who knows? Maybe the actual event and the qualifiers might be more rounded. We've only got one event so far, but off the first event, I don't know, the signs don't seem strong that it's going to be super well-rounded again, but we'll see. I would like to be proven wrong.
Yeah, it's programmed by, or it's sponsored by Wolfpack Programming. I'm not entirely sure who's doing the whole thing. Obviously, the Marchish Mayhem was done by AOD, so they have a slightly different tendency, but I think even within their qualifiers, there must be some sort of contractual stipulation that indicates you have to do devil press, unless it's just AOD doing it for a bit of a meme. But yeah, it's I think you've already got some. I think the score's already live for that one, which I was quite surprised by, because they normally have a hidden leaderboard.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Maybe they just haven't. Maybe they didn't expect people to put in score straight away.
Yeah.
Well, what's the top score then?
In male adults RX Elite, I mean there is one score in there right now.
Oh, okay.
2 rounds plus 50. First
okay.
bit. And then a 141 hang clean.
That's something that is the nutshell of what this competition is.
There's currently 127 people registered on the men's side. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that happens. Let's have a look at middle ground, because I was considering doing it. But
do it. There'll be a crew. I've got at least, well, I've definitely got one person, if not 2 people. I've got 3 people.
268 people qualified for it.
What, you mean doing the qualifiers for it?
Doing the qualifiers,
yeah.
Registered for it.
Fair enough. Do it.
I'll see. No, my back still doesn't recover from 2018 Battle for Middle Ground, if I'm entirely honest with you.
You don't need back for this. It doesn't matter. You'll recover by the time the competition comes around.
Sorry. How many double press into how many power cleans?
Who cares? It doesn't matter. 6.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Just
I'll get
use
through
your
one
arms. Don't use your back.
Just reverse it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, exactly. It does not matter.
Oh dear.
No, do it.
I'll consider it. Anyway,
is there a middle ground score up, or is there no scoring?
2 plus 8 and 100 kilo hang clean.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah,
because I made a joke saying the middle ground would be like that guy who's in the elite, like someone who's maybe their Metcon score won't be that good, but then they'll put up some stupid hang clean because they won't probably have like great gymnastics, and so they'll do like middle grounds because they'll be able to smash out the weights. Then yeah. But fair enough. Yeah, 141. That's pretty solid on the hang clean.
Indeed. It's I'm interested to see what you think you'd put up in that.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'd hope to double that guy's score on the first part or around it.
Yeah.
I'd like to get 4 to 5 rounds, I think, and then I don't know. I think 130 plus under that grip fatigue will be a good day's work. 140 would be pretty good, but we shall see how I feel when I get to that point. Right, anything else you want to touch on? We'll just call it there for the day.
Yeah, I think that's nearly an hour and a half of riveting content. Sid UK Champs qualifiers are coming up. They've obviously merged with French Throwdown. You have to register for them separately, but they'll be the same qualifying. So if you are thinking of competing, you're at that level, and you want to give it a go, I think it probably makes a little bit of sense to give those a try as well, because that looks set to be a very big newish event on the UK calendar.
Yeah, no, it should be really good. Yeah, qualifiers for that start in 2 weeks. So they sort of overlap with the end of Ragnarok qualifiers. But yeah, we'll go through those as well. And I think they'll release them one I don't know if they'll release them one a week, I think.
They're doing 2 workouts a week.
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go. Because I knew French did it a bit differently. Yeah, interesting. Cool, that'll be cool. All right, cool. So we had to talk about those. And we don't know exactly, but I think the field is going to be quite strong for UK champs this year. So we might be able to do like a proper preview for and everything, because they get guaranteed spots to semi-final athletes. And then, yeah, depending on how they're marketing it, it seems like it'll be pretty big. So, yeah, I think you have some very strong names turning up to that event. So that'll be a good one to watch.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
All right, cool. Well, we'll end it there. So thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next one.
See ya.